Okay, lovely. How was lunch, everybody? Did everybody enjoy their meals? You know, I have to say, it's been so incredible because during the lunch hour, I got a chance to chat with a lot of you, and I mentioned at the beginning that I tell people stories for a living, and I'm always so interested in hearing people's stories. And it's been so incredible to hear from all of these women. I think there is something we can all take away with us today, and it's been amazing just hearing different people from different walks of path coming together, and I think we need more events like this, especially in the South Asian community. So welcome back, everyone. Next, I want to welcome Jennifer Cooke. She's the Corporate Lead, Women in Trade Strategy Export Development Canada. She joined EDC in 2010 to work directly with Canadian companies and to help them succeed in international markets. Now, in her role, Jennifer focused specifically on helping more women entrepreneurs export to grow their business. Please join me in welcoming Jennifer Cooke to the stage. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you, Lena, for the kind introduction, and good afternoon, everyone. Like those before us, I want us to begin by extending a sincere thank you to the Canada-India Foundation for hosting us today at this wonderful conference and for their leadership in celebrating the success of women entrepreneurs with global ambitions and providing a venue for educating and sharing. We've seen several examples of courageous women entrepreneurs here today, and this is a great opportunity to learn from each other. As the Minister mentioned this morning, entrepreneurs are at the heart of the Canadian economy. And exploring new markets and growing beyond our borders has always been compelling for a country as diverse and globally minded as Canada. We also know that there's no argument about the value that women bring to our business community, and that women are actually working to solve many of the world's problems today. The numbers don't lie. Around the world, countries that have greater rates of participation of women in the economy have greater economic growth rates. Putting this another way, when women work, economies grow. So the time to encourage more women to grow their businesses through international trade has never been more opportune. Given the small size of Canada's domestic economy, it's important that our entrepreneurs get into the export game. But today, Canadian women-owned and led companies are underrepresented among our exporting enterprises. As we heard this morning, about half of all new businesses today are started by women, but only 11% of them are exporting. For those that want to grow their businesses into mid-size or larger firms, exporting is actually a great way to encourage and support them to scale. So as such, I'd like to leave you today with a few insights and hopefully some inspiration about how you might think big and consider selling to new global markets as an opportunity to grow your business. Whether it's just across the border to the United States, to Europe, to Asia, or all around the world. So why are more women entrepreneurs not exporting? It's a really good question and something that I'd like to understand a little bit better myself. But what I've observed from many conversations with women entrepreneurs is that there's actually a lot of misconceptions about exporting. For example, that it's only for large companies or for companies that manufacture and ship goods across the border. But in fact, that is not true. At EDC, we are seeing more and more services companies selling internationally, and definitely more and more small companies exporting. With new technologies, innovations in distribution methods, many companies are now starting out as global companies from the get-go. And this is the trade culture that we really want to promote in Canada, and especially with women. We can all appreciate that starting your own business brings risks. And thinking about taking your business outside of Canada's borders brings even more risks, which can seem daunting. As women, we tend to view risks and requirements for success holistically. We consider not just the implications for our business, but also for our families and for our life as a whole. At EDC, we are international risk experts. That's what we call ourselves. It's our job and our passion to take on risks so that Canadian companies and entrepreneurs like all of you can take on the world. Today, more than ever, EDC recognizes the important value of nurturing and opening more opportunities for women entrepreneurs. We're working hard to help more women entrepreneurs go, grow, and succeed internationally. So this is why I'm super excited to be here today, celebrating the success of women entrepreneurs who are taking their business to the world through export. My role at EDC is dedicated full-time to leading the development and execution of a women in trade strategy for female entrepreneurs in Canada. As a mother of 2 daughters, a champion for Canadian business, and as a former entrepreneur myself, the opportunity to support more women to take their companies global is something that gives me great energy. One of my key responsibilities is to understand and work to remove the barriers for women entrepreneurs, to provide you with knowledge and skills, as well as the financial and risk mitigation tools that you need to expand into new markets with confidence. Moreover, we want to help you identify opportunities and provide you with the connections to accelerate the growth of your businesses. To do this, EDC has set some bold goals, and we've started by earmarking $250 million towards the women's entrepreneurship strategy that Minister Ng was mentioning this morning. This capacity, available on commercial terms, is to ensure that women-owned and led businesses that export or have plans to export are aware and have access to the financing and insurance solutions that EDC provides. It's our objective to help your business obtain growth capital for international market expansion. I'm also excited to share that earlier this month, EDC, along with the Minister of International Trade Diversification, Jim Carr, announced a new $50 million Women in Trade investment program to provide equity capital specifically designed to help high-growth Canadian women entrepreneurs. This commitment complements EDC's suite of solutions to better serve the needs of women-owned and women-led businesses engaged in export. Finally, we're organizing ourselves differently internally at EDC. In order to help us execute on our strategy, we've developed a squad, a team of champions for women across the country who are proactively out in the market, seeking to connect with more women entrepreneurs like you, to be a resource and support your global growth goals. And one of my colleagues, Amashika, is here with me today, so hopefully you'll get a chance to meet her. Why is it so important for us to help more women grow their businesses into new markets? Putting it bluntly, exporters do it better. It's true. Studies are showing that exporters perform better than non-exporters for several reasons. Exporters specialize their production and benefit from economies of scale. They build relationships and learn from foreign consumers and suppliers. And finally, they face stronger competitive pressures that push them to innovate and improve their businesses. I'm privileged each and every day to meet and work with many inspiring female entrepreneurs who are thinking big and helping the world solve problems. One young woman that I met about 1.5 years ago stands out as an example, and I'd like to share her story with you today. As a teenager, Tara Bosch learned to cook in her grandmother's kitchen. But these culinary lessons weren't the only things that the two of them shared. They both had a sweet tooth, with gummy bears at the top of the list as their shared guilty pleasure. But unfortunately, Tara's grandmother suffered from poor health, and the candies weren't helping her. She warned Tara about the dangers of eating too much sugar and helped to teach her the importance of a healthy diet. And it was her grandmother's advice that actually inspired Tara to create Smart Sweets, a candy company that doesn't use any sugar, sugar alcohols, or artificial sweeteners at all. She decided that she wanted to create a product that empowers people to feel good about enjoying their favorite foods, including guilt-free and healthy candy. Like many startups, Tara needed help turning her idea into a practical and sustainable business. Despite an initial investment of $15,000 from her family, she needed more capital to grow her business, and the banks that she approached were cautious. They wanted to see multiple years of financials, which Tara simply didn't have at that time, and that's when she turned to EDC for help. We worked together with Tara to approach the Canadian financial institutions with a strengthened proposal. With EDC offering a guarantee, showing their support for this young female entrepreneur, it helped encourage Tara's bank to get comfortable as they were now able to share the risk with EDC, which allowed them to offer her the bank line that she needed to grow her company. Being an entrepreneur is tough, and women are still facing tougher challenges in accessing capital. Being able to access working capital and financial support allowed Smart Suites to achieve the international and national success that they have today. Smart Suites can now be found in over 900 stores across North America as consumers ride the wave of insatiable demand for healthy candies. With colorful packaging and prominent in-store locations, Smart Suites candies are an easy buy for consumers, and impulse buying at the cash register is still their main selling tool. But the company is also aggressively pursuing a move into e-commerce, and 30% of their sales in the past year were driven by online consumers around the world, with Instagram being the most effective platform. Smart Suites is now an industry leader with strong financials and fast-growing distribution chain, accessing some of the world's largest retailers. And Tara herself recently turned down a multi-million-dollar offer for a stake in her company. So as I tell my girls, this all goes to prove the old adage that mothers and grandmothers are always right. So women entrepreneurs, your success is Canada's success, and companies with more women leaders enjoy better financial performance, and increasing their numbers would not only create more jobs, but have an outsized impact on our GDP. So what does it take? When we asked women entrepreneurs what the #1 barrier to exporting was, the majority said it's learning how to access new markets. And to be honest with you, this is a common challenge for all exporters. But we can learn from those that are already taking their passion and their business to the world and diversifying into new markets beyond North America. So I'll close by sharing with you 5 insights that I've gleaned from my own entrepreneurial experiences and successful exporters that I've had the pleasure of working with. The very first thing is that it starts with mindsets and action. Growth is an exciting journey for businesses, both big and small. They look ahead, charting new paths towards their next milestone, and turning big dreams into reality. For some businesses, growth outside of Canada is a natural progression. And for others, especially those that are innovating to solve many of the world's problems, it becomes part of a company's main objectives, their raison d'être. But if you only dream and don't put action behind it, nothing happens. Every journey begins with choices, and taking action will turn your dreams into reality. A combination of the right mindset, the right action plan, and the right people will get you far. Secondly, I'd like to say that exporting is easier than you think. You can start close to home with markets where the language and business cultures are similar, get your feet wet with exporting before spreading to other new markets, perhaps those where Canada's free trade agreements present opportunities for your business. As the Minister mentioned, we have preferential treatment with our free trade agreements, creating a market of 1.5 billion potential customers around the world. Considering other profitable markets outside of North America can help reduce risk of relying on only one single market and add stability to your business, but it can also be lucrative. Moreover, with technologies that are available today, there are more and more ways to sell abroad, and leveraging the internet can help you reach new customers in new markets more easily. Thirdly, working with others can make the journey simpler. Sometimes integrating into supply chains of your current customers and following them to new markets is an easy way to start, growing what you do for them here at home to their locations outside of Canada as a way for you to expand. Or think about partnering with another complementary business to yours to pitch a broader solution together to new buyers in new markets. Fourthly, knowledge and preparation are essential for success. It's critical to invest in research and time to find global opportunities and identify the long-term potential. Finding out who the competitors and customers are, which countries want your products or services, and determining your unique value proposition is a key to success. Investing the time to understand the culture where you're doing business, because lack of cultural awareness can make or break a trade deal. Use these learnings to develop a successful market entry plan, and even more importantly, to make sure that you have enough working capital and the right people on your team to have the follow-through on your export plan. If you don't have access to capital, it can certainly be difficult to grow. Finally, you don't have to do it alone. There are so many organizations here to help, so I encourage you to take advantage of the resources you have here in Canada and abroad. Start by knowing the Canadian Trade Commissioner Service and the team specifically at the Business Women in International Trade who are dedicated to helping women businesses find and win opportunities in international markets. Consider joining a trade organization. Membership in a global network like the Organization of Women in International Trade will help you develop contacts, educate yourself, and keep up to date. And finally, EDC and BDC offer so many resources. We are really here to help you. EDC can help you understand the risks, and we even will take on the risk so that you can go, grow, and succeed internationally. So take advantage. I think that all of us can generate the intense passion that's essential for success, but many of us fail to take the next step and take it to the rest of the world with everything we've got. My advice is, don't wait. Dream big, be daring, and go for it. Take on the world. Thank you.
Jennifer, thank you so much. Wasn't she lovely? Let's hear it for Jennifer again. Jennifer Cooke, everyone. And Jennifer, we do have a plaque for you, and for that I'd like to please call on stage Harsha Shah to present this. And Harsha, I know you just sat down, but I have another favor to ask you. I'm going to ask you to come back. I'm sorry. I'd like to have you present the plaque to Kokala Sachdev. She's been an integral part of this event, making it possible, and we just like to say thank you.